Right to this, a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go and jump into it, guys. See where this takes us.
We begin, though, with Brooke Taylor. She is on the ground in Dallas with an update for us right now. Hi, Brooke.
An attack.
Hi, guys. Yeah, officials spent most of this press conference talking about how this anti-ICE rhetoric has to stop, or you have this violence like this happen. Federal agents, they're just trying to enforce the law, these officials say. The FBI is now investigating this as a targeted act. Here is what we know. Homeland Security says that before 7 a.m., a sniper started shooting from a nearby rooftop and fired indiscriminately at the ICE facility, including a van that was in the Sally Port. DHS says 3 detainees in that van were shot, and at least one of the detainees was killed. The gunman then turned the gun on himself. Officials say no ICE agents were hurt. The FBI, though, shared pictures of rounds found right near that shooter with anti-ICE engraved on those shell casings. This is the latest in a string of targeted attacks on ICE facilities right here in Texas. At this same facility, a man was arrested for making a bomb threat last month. Then in July, a group ambushed officers outside a separate Texas ICE facility. One officer was shot and survived that shooting. Senator Ted Cruz was here at this press conference and spoke about this violence.
Violence has no place. It is wrong. And we should come together. If we want to have a debate about immigration policies, we can do so in the halls of Congress without demonizing each other, and especially without demonizing the men and women who every day put on a badge and go risk their lives to keep us safe.
Yeah, guys, the problem is that I would love for that to happen, but I'm not sure that the side that he's obviously referring to would like to sit down with someone who they do not 100% agree with. And I think that's just kind of where we are right now politically, guys. This is the landscape, right?
And of course, so many responding to this attack this afternoon. Vice President J.D. Vance posted a statement on X saying, quote, "The obsessive attack on law enforcement, particularly ICE, must stop." You also have Texas Governor Greg Abbott. He tweeted, quote, "This assassination will not slow our arrest, detention, and deportation of illegal immigrants."
No, it's not going to at all.
This happened outside of a processing center where illegal migrants are taken to get processed after they're arrested by ICE.
Yeah, guys, listen, I have no idea how long we can still kind of play this game about this specific group of people in the United States of America going out and doing these type of things consistently. Guys, we haven't even ended the month yet, guys. We haven't even gotten over the Charlie Kirk incident. And now we're sitting here having to deal with this type of thing happening again from the same group of people. I wonder. I would definitely like to know their response. Again, this is the first time I'm hearing anything about these things here. All right, but I definitely would like to know how they're responding. Are they blaming some random right-wing lunatic, guys? I want to know. I want to hear it.
All right, Brooke Taylor in Dallas on the scene for us there. Stand by. Thank you.
All right, Bill Daley's a former FBI investigator and joins us now. I mean, this almost seems like a daily occurrence, Bill.
Yeah, now.
We have another day. The sun comes up, dawn breaks, and another politically motivated shooting. It's just no sign of stopping.
It's horrible, John. And you know, John, over these past several months and even the past since the administration took over, you know, we've seen this kind of push by politicians and other people around ICE facilities. They've gone as far as even some of these elected officials kind of, you know, trying to force their way in, stopping vehicles.
Right.
So, you know, it is kind of a buildup of what we've seen over the past few months, only to this point to a deadly level. You know, I think a lot of people speak about this rhetoric. You know, I'll cite a few things, but I know a lot of people speaking about it. I'd like to talk more about the investigation. But, you know, when you have elected officials calling ICE agents, you know, agents, modern Gestapo agents.
Right. That's what's galvanizing the base.
Governors moving to not have masks on ICE agents because they want people to know who they are so they can go after them.
That's specifically Gavin Newsom.
You know, all of these things are lead up to people who might be prone, who are driven in a certain with ideology or direction, as we've seen today, and they carry out these horrific acts.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, what is with this? I don't know if you would call it a trend, but for lack of a better word, the trend we're seeing where these assassins and mass shooters now like to try and carve little messages on shell casings before they carry out these shootings. Is this something that you have seen before the last few months, or
No,
is this new?
This is, I mean, it may happen periodically over a period of time where individuals, murderers, or other people may do something similar to this, but it's not a trend. This seems to be certainly a trend. You know, we saw it with the Mangione shooting in New York against the United Healthcare CEO, where he left those bullets on the sidewalk. We saw it with Charlie Kirk's shooter, and now here. So, you hate to say copycat, but certainly all the hallmarks of it is, within the past few weeks, months, if you will,
feels kind of like
we
it.
have people doing the same thing. The other thing, Jillian, I wanted to talk about is the FBI's investigating this. I think, a couple of positive things to be taken away from this. A, law enforcement was extremely responsive to this. FBI there on the scene. I think under the leadership of Director Patel, they're trying to be very forward-leaning and transparent. That was mentioned both by the SAC, agent in charge of the Dallas office, as well as Director Patel, who came out and posted those images that you just referenced. So they're trying to be as transparent, as forward-leaning as they can, and to help the American people not start to spin their wheels with worrying, who's this shooting, is that they were able to provide some clarity pretty quickly with releasing that photo.
I want to come back, Bill, to this idea of the rhetoric. This is Joshua Johnson, who's the ICRO director there in Dallas. Here's what he said a little more than an hour ago.
This is the second time I've had to stand in front of you and talk about a shooter at one of my facilities. And I think that the takeaway from all of this is that the rhetoric has to stop. There are people out there who are seeing what is being placed online, and they're coming and they're doing acts of violence against
Absolutely they are.
ICE employees.
Because they
we should
think,
mention that,
guys, they definitely think that they are kind of in the right by doing this. I mean, listen, if you guys keep saying that ICE is the reincarnation of like the mustache man, imagine, right? That's what you're saying. You're saying that, right? And then there are people who are so emotionally tied, specifically to the party, that if certain people say certain things, they're going to in fact act here, guys. And that's what we keep encountering here, right? It's the anti-right-leaning rhetoric, basically. If the right or conservatives or like traditional Americans, let's just say this here, decide this is what they're going to basically platform on, and against, the ones who are on the left are then going to do the exact opposite. And what happens here? They then galvanize their specific base to do absolute atrocities consistently. And this is what we're doing here. This is where we are.
that there were the shootings at ICE facilities in Texas not long ago. Add to this. And then you have the shooter, who sources identified at Fox News as 29-year-old Joshua Jahn. We're trying to find out more about this individual.
Yeah, we'll definitely get some more information.
Who takes a gun, looks like, according to the stripper clip that we saw a picture of posted by the FBI director, that it was just a typical hunting rifle with a capacity of 5 cartridges. Takes that weapon,
like a 30-30,
aims it at the ICE facility, starts firing at will, and then takes their own life. And is it this rhetoric that people just keep doubling down on that suddenly causes someone to snap?
Keep drilling the same thing over and over and over
again.
again.
I know from my behavioral analysis friends, you just don't know what reaches a individual and what breaking point they have. And although many people can kind of, flick this rhetoric off as being just that, political rhetoric, it does affect a number of people. And I think today, John, with all of the various sources that people are getting information, or ones that maybe want to lock themselves into with regard to social media or news outlets, and they're hearing it over and over again, the fragility of people where they are at any particular moment may lead them to commit one of these acts. But the other thing, too, John, as we look into this investigation, and the FBI is doing this right now, is to find out, where did this person, where were they getting this information from? Where was he being, if you want to call it, kind of radicalized to conduct one of these
on
acts?
The internet.
Who was he around? Was he talking to other people about this? It's the same thing they're going through right now, still on the heels of the investigation of the Charlie Kirk assassination, is to find out who else might be in the orbit of this person who may have either encouraged, provided information, in any way knew about these plans and didn't come forward. So, there's still a lot of stones to be turned over in this investigation.
Guys, hold on. I just want to let him kind of finish speaking here. So there is some moderately updated information here. Apparently, they spoke to his brother, Noah Jahn. And the brother basically said he didn't have strong feelings about ICE as far as I knew, right? That's what he basically said of his brother. That's a direct quote there. He's also been registered as an independent in Oklahoma. He voted last in November. He was also charged with kind of moving or delivering an amount greater than a quarter of an ounce, but less than 5 pounds of the greenery. He pled guilty to those charges there. Noah, John, his brother, described his brother as unique, but said he was not one he ever would have thought would have involved in any type of politically motivated scenario like this. I didn't think he was politically interested or invested. Yeah, guys, if you keep saying the same thing consistently, there are some people who have no ability to basically critically think, because we have basically pushed out critically thinking from our schools, right? So what's left here? You have someone who is able and willing to do something absolutely atrocious, and he did. Jeez, guys, jeez. We're gonna follow the story, all right? Jeez, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. In the meantime, guys, I'll catch you guys later.